wait, time out. You guys clicked on this video because you want to see what's in my camera bag. So let's rewind this real quick. What's up, everybody? So I just wanted to quickly point out that it seems as though every single time I come up with a video topic, all the filmmaking video people here on YouTube like Peter McKinnon and Travel Feels always seem to be just one step ahead of me. I think just last week Peter put out his video of what's in my camera bag for 2018, and now here we are. But regardless of that, every content creator uses different gear and has their own reasons for using certain things rather than others, and a lot of you guys have been asking me, well, what's in my camera bag for 2018. Now, before we get into what's inside of my new current camera bag, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the history of the camera bags that I've used, the gear that I've carried in them, and kind of how it's evolved over time and what I've shaped into kind of what I feel as though is a pretty minimalist camera bag when it comes to filmmaking, photography, run and gun type shooting. By the way, I need to thank the people over at Daniel Wellington for sending me this really beautiful rose gold watch. They sent me this really cool Valentine's Day gift for a Valentine's Day campaign. So if you guys are looking for like a last minute Valentine's Day gift or something like that, or you just maybe want to treat yourself, because I mean, there are sweet watches, definitely check the link down in the description, and also use code RyanCow15 if you guys want to save an extra 15% off. So thanks, Daniel Wellington. So this right here is my pretty much first legitimate camera bag. Before this, I think I probably just used some random backpacks, but this was like my first actual camera bag that I got from I think it was like Christmas, like maybe back in like 2012 or 2013, something along those lines. This is obviously a bulky and hefty bag. This is a bag that has, you know, tons of back support, lots of straps, the waist straps, the chest straps, just a lot of unnecessary bulkiness. And it's kind of funny, this one actually has this unique little like rotating like carousel thing in here where you can put lenses. I used this bag for a couple of years and it was just more than I needed, like significantly more than I needed. I mean, this thing can hold, I think, like up to 6 or 8 lenses, probably 2 camera bodies. So this was my second camera bag, and this is obviously a lot smaller, a lot more minimal. I think this was advertised as kind of like a laptop bag that could carry camera equipment. And I used this bag up until probably maybe 2015 or so. I've actually used it a couple of times for airport travel just because it's like really light and it's just clean and simple. So this bag was eventually replaced by the bag that you guys have most recently seen in a lot of my videos, which is this gray backpack. I get a lot of questions asking what this one is, and I actually like this backpack a lot for just general use. Even though it is technically a camera backpack, it's made by Lowepro. So this is the Lowepro, what is it, Streetline BP 250, and this is a pretty expensive backpack. I decided to go with this backpack, reason being is it looked so far from a camera backpack. It honestly just kind of looked like a normal street backpack, which I really liked. That's a big part of why I didn't like that main first backpack that I had, is just because it looked so camera tech backpack. So if you'll notice between those 3 backpacks, there is kind of a theme, and it's that each one has progressively gotten smaller and less camera-esque, if that makes sense. And it's mainly because when it comes to the equipment that I like to take on run and gun shooting, I really find myself getting distracted if I take more than is necessary. If I take too many lenses, I find myself focusing on, should I switch to this lens? I could get this angle if I use this lens. I think that I tend to do better in the field and run and gun shooting when I have truly only what I need. So now enter in the new backpack, which is obviously quite a bit bulkier. But the thing I like about this one so much is it still looks pretty much like a normal everyday backpack. I, again, really don't like the whole camera backpack tech look. I think it looks kind of goofy. I think it looks really obvious, especially if you're walking around. It looks kind of touristy. If that makes sense, I just like the simple and clean sort of minimal aesthetic. Okay, so here it is. This is the bag that I'm rocking for 2018. This is a bag that I just recently got sent from Brevity. This is a pretty cool company. They make these very sort of minimalist designed camera bags that have this neat design, which is basically, open this up here, this modular insert, which is the compartment where all of your gear goes, that has the standard sort of Velcro foam inserts that you can reorganize to fit whatever you want to put in there. But this whole insert basically can come out. This whole insert can come out away from the bag itself, and then you have basically all the important stuff, the camera equipment, right here. All right, so let's start off with what most of you care about, which is the main camera equipment. So basically what we have here, you guys should know by now, we have the good old Sony a7R II. This is the camera body that I've been using now for the greater part of the last year and a half, getting on to be 2 years. Amazing camera for both photo and video. This is rocking the 42 megapixel full frame sensor, which is just incredible. And even though for being such a high pixel count sensor, it still performs amazingly well in low light, especially if you're shooting in 4K on this guy. I mean, I've been able to shoot well above ISO 6400, even up into like 12,800, and still got some pretty clean images. It also offers, of course, 1080 at 60 frames per second, which is great for slow motion. It does do 120 frames per second, but only at 720p, which is a little bit of a downside. But the most important thing, and the reason why I love this camera so much, is its autofocus during video. It is incredibly accurate, super fast, very reliable. So for things like vlogging, it's perfect. So this is a big part of why I've stuck with this camera and why I really have no intent of switching. Okay, so big thing a lot of people have been asking is, what lenses do I use on this camera? This is my main and primary lens I'm using for almost everything, and this is the 28mm f2. Really, really great prime lens, reasonable wide angle, also just a very fast aperture. So it's sharp, it's great in low light. In general, it's just probably my favorite lens I've ever owned for any camera system, and that's saying a lot. So the only other lens that I own for this Sony system is this guy, which is the Sony 50mm f1.8. This is like the nifty 50 of the Sony full frame lenses. In general, it's just a good 50mm. I mean, you can't really ask too much of it. It was only like 200 bucks. So yeah, 50mm. So of course, oh, this is on. So of course we have the Rode Videomic Pro. This is generally what I'm using for pretty much all the audio in my videos. So when I'm in here in the studio, I actually record audio directly to this external audio recorder. And this is the Tascam Dr-05. This is a really, really simple budget audio recorder, very similar to something like the Zoom H1. To be honest, I got this probably back in like 2013 or 2014. Why I chose it over the Zoom, no clue. I think I just wanted to be different, but I've been trying to actually start recording more audio for my videos. A big part of what makes a good video, nice cinematic video, is sound and audio design. So I've been trying to record a little bit more sound other than just what comes out of the shotgun microphone. So this is a big part of that, but I think I'm gonna be upgrading my audio equipment here soon. So balled up in this little lens cloth here is a variable neutral density filter. I get a lot of questions from people asking if I get a lot of questions from people asking if I use ND filters or any filters for that matter. This is the variable neutral density for the 28mm lens. I use this occasionally if I'm vlogging outdoors, but to be honest, I kind of just don't use it. I should use it more because I would get a little bit better looking images, but yeah, neutral density filter. Lens caps, and then in this little lower compartment here we have a charger as well as a ton of batteries. Obviously you guys know that Sonys are pretty notorious for being terrible with battery life. This is only like a quarter of how many batteries I have for this camera. I don't really take that many, but I have so many of them, so there's lots of batteries. And that's pretty much it for the main compartment here. This is where all the fun stuff is. Now you guys will notice that this bag doesn't have a ton in it, which is again kind of what I was speaking about on how I'm kind of a minimalist when it comes to camera equipment and what I take out when I'm shooting. So we'll open up this little front flap here where we kind of just have some accessories, stuff like that. So in this front little mesh pouch, we just have some cables, USB cables, USB-C cables, USB-C cables for this guy, which is the Samsung T5 portable SSD, super fast. This is a 500 gigabyte version. I use this for editing when I'm on the go with my laptop. And then of course I just have, you know, the good old wall adapters for the, you know, charging And then a USB-C dongle, which has a card reader, USB inputs, and also an HDMI output. Super nice. Of course, we got a USB power bank, pretty crucial. A think tank, I think this is called the Pixel Pocket Rocket or something like that. This is a Canon Pro Services branded one that I got back when I was working at Pro Photo Supply, but it's of course just filled with tons of SD cards. You can't have enough of those things. I really also like shooting on Sonys because I don't have to have like CFast cards or something like that, just nice, convenient, cheap SD cards. And then also we have this guy, which is the little grip that you guys always seem to ask me about, what's on my camera, this little grip. This is the Peak Designs, don't remember what it's called, but it's just a basic grip that goes onto the side of the camera and then gives me an Arca Swiss plate on the bottom, which is pretty nice because most of my tripods and mounting equipment is Arca Swiss based. So then on the side here, we of course have the little Gorilla Pod. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is the cheaper one. It's not like the big XL one. And then I just have a basic like Amazon ball head on there. Super simple combination, really cheap. And it works great, and I don't need the big hefty one because the Sony camera is not all that heavy and bulky, so I don't need the giant Gorilla Pod to support it. This one works just fine, which is really great. So now this bag also has another little front pouch here, which I currently don't have anything in. It's got a top little pouch that has the nice soft sort of microfiber fleece material, whatever. You can put like a cell phone in or any kind of sensitive equipment. And then it has this sort of big open top main pouch right here, which to be honest, I just have my laptop charger in. Other than that, I mean, a sweatshirt wadded up tightly could probably fit in there. It's a pretty decent amount of space, but again, I don't take that much stuff with me when I'm shooting. So there's the laptop charger. And then that pretty much leaves only one other thing, which is of course the laptop, which we have in the nice convenient laptop sleeve in the back of the backpack, which is this guy. You guys should have known this by now, but this is my new laptop. This is the Lenovo Yoga 720 laptop. This is a really pretty powerful machine. I really like it for the fact that it has a similar design overall. The screen looks all yellow because I have like the night mode turned on for, you know, the reduced blue light. But I really like it for the fact that it is similar build to a MacBook. It's pretty much an all aluminum chassis. Really great keyboard, feels really similar to a MacBook as well. But it's super powerful. It has a Core i7 7700 HQ, which is pretty much the top Intel quad-core processor right now for laptops. It has a GTX 1050, which is fantastic because it actually is optimized well for Premiere Pro, so it'll do better than a MacBook in most cases. 16 gigs of RAM, a super fast 500 gigabyte SSD, and an NVMe SSD even, so it's better than most. And then it's also a convertible like so it can be converted into a tablet. It's just a great machine, and it's super affordable, and it honestly kills the maxed out MacBook Pro that I had previously to this, which was a fully spec'd 2016 15-inch MacBook Pro, something that was literally like $3,500, very expensive, and this guy is about half the cost. So if you guys are looking for a best bang for your buck video editing laptop, especially if you're working in Premiere, definitely check this guy out. I'll do a full video talking about this here soon. I know I've said that, but that'll be coming. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all that is in this camera bag. I mean, I gotta say, amazing bag. I'm super excited to start using it more. I just got it from them, so, but as you guys can tell, I mean, this thing looks clean. I can tell you it is built nice. It has YKK zippers, which is really great. Super heavy duty material. I don't think it's necessarily gonna be waterproof, but it's definitely gonna be water resistant for the most part. Has some nice kind of recessed zippers. Of course, it's got the chest strap. It does have a waist strap, but I actually kind of tucked that away because I didn't want it. Has an integrated rain cover that's stuffed down here in the bottom. Has these straps on the bottom to stick a tripod in there if you want it. So that's it. So yeah, that's what I'm rocking in my bag for 2018. Contrary to what some of you guys might have thought, I don't really carry a ton of gear. I think there's sort of this unrealistic expectation associated with filmmaking and photography nowadays that you need like a shit ton of gear to like make it happen. But in reality, I don't use a lot to create these videos. Now, I mean, obviously it's a little bit different if it's something like a studio setup or if I'm doing commercial work for a client, but for the most part, the kind of stuff that you guys see here on my YouTube channel doesn't require a ton of gear. So if you thought that you needed all the best stuff and you need a ton of lenses, you don't. You can do a lot with what you have. You can do a lot with an iPhone, to be honest. So hopefully you guys were able to take a little bit of value from this. I think it's really interesting to see these camera bag videos. I mean, I personally watch them all the time. I love seeing what different content creators are using and for what reasons. So, but with that being said, I think I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for can't talk. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up. I really do appreciate when you guys do that. It helps a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.